It's Jean.
I'm Jean. We're Norma and Jean.
We're hosts of AUNTS. We're organizers. I would not necessarily say we're producers. Maybe one time we would write that on a proposal or something, but I don't feel like that's our role.
Yeah, I like the idea that we're organizers as well. Just sort of like bringing the group together, and then the group is what produces the show. And I think there's definitely a part of AUNTS which is what you were talking about, the life living, art making as life living.
You know, going back to sustainability and creating these events from nothing, kind of, or from what little resources. It never seems limited. Like a lack of resources, a lack of money. It always feels like things come together and people bring resources.
Yeah, I've been really interested lately with AUNTS in what kinds of resources we can provide towards people and how we do it, because I think that we kind of just take it as a given, like we don't have a lot of money. We're probably never going to get a lot of money, but that doesn't need to be an excuse to not create and make stuff. And what kinds of things can we provide to people? Like the free boutique, a lot of people pick up like a whole new wardrobe there. There's a lot of like trading of goods between people. So, you know, like in some ways, even the resources of our clothing stays within the community and gets traded around. We just did our dinner and a show, our first dinner and a show party this weekend, and I think that's really exciting because it brings in like this other artistic medium, which is food, and everybody kind of like puts a little bit in to make it. The theme was stone soup, and everybody brought, you know, a vegetable or something. Some people brought beer. So all of a sudden, you know, we start out with like some broth, and we have this really amazing soup that's gonna feed like 100 people plus a full bar. And you know, everybody just brought a little bit.
We had a small grant from Brooklyn Arts Council from last year.
And that paid for the chain curation.
Yeah.
Okay.
The event that we did in November.
We have another grant for the next year that will help us, you know. Most of the money though that we get, it's expensive to rent a space for a night. That's where most of our money goes.
I mean, if we can get something for free, we'll do that. We used an abandoned convent this year, which was free, but we made a donation to the church.
It was like half price.
I think that it's interesting to ask for money for AUNTS because it is serving the community, so you're not asking them to fund your particular project. That's just you, that you're saying, we want to make something that's actually a model for interaction, and so you're asking for money for kind of an unknown outcome, but also for more than just yourself. So it feels, I don't know, it feels easier to I don't know, ask for.
I think just saying that you put on a series of 4 shows and 80 artists were allowed to show their work at that. I mean, that's about how many people we had show at the this
Chain curation.
Yeah, the road show.
Which is a lot of people.
And I mean, it's also open to anybody. All you have to do is email AUNTS, and you know, we'll. I mean, it's a little more selective. No, but I mean, it's true. If you just ask, you can get in on the show. If we have a space, and you email us at the right time, you know, like you can be in the show.
It is open to everyone, but it's not for everyone necessarily. And so there's that. You know, people come to it who want to be there.
Right. Do you get paid for your work for AUNTS?
No. I mean, maybe if there was extra money, maybe we would throw ourselves $50. But no, I mean, it's almost...
It's not a line item in the budget when you ask for money.
It's not, and we're kind of discussing whether or not it should be.
Uh-huh.
And it's a hard question because we love doing it, but at the same time,
Right.
you can't just say,
Right.
oh, well, it's okay.
Right.
I mean, that's a big question in dance in general. I
Yeah.
mean, about
It's also too like, I don't know, going back to like how much is it worth? Like we work pretty hard to do it all, and it takes a lot of time and energy. And like, what is our time worth? It's worth a lot of money. All of that is worth a lot of money, and I just don't think that like we could ever get a grant that big. We could pay each other maybe like a $500 artist fee for what we do for the whole year, but we could also use that $500 to rent a space for a night and have another party, and it would be really fun.
Right. And then, you know, being being this event that we both organize, but also that everyone who's involved makes happen, it's like, well, if we're paying ourselves, shouldn't we pay everybody involved? And it's a
Is there also a
question.
conversation about institutionalization as a danger or as an issue?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the minute money becomes involved, then there's some kind of an extra, I don't know what the right word is. I don't want to say responsibility, but then there's some kind of accountability of what are you doing for this, that you earn this money? And I feel like that's really something I want to avoid, and that the fact that AUNTS is very flexible and it morphs and changes with what the community needs, that somehow not having any money or using money only to help it function on a base level
Right.
keeps it alive and keeps it exciting, and it makes it changeable, it makes it adaptable instead of maybe getting set into a pattern.
Right.
It's not like, oh, our gala's coming up, we have to do
Right.
our AUNTS gala, and it's like this expectation of a yearly
Right.
schedule. It's kind of like,
Right.
I think it's time for an AUNTS. We're gonna do it.
Right.
People are interested. We found a space. You know, it kind of
Right.
like moves around,
Right.
which is exciting. And it also feels, I think also talking about money, it feels more sustainable to not get paid for something that you say, when we can do it,
When it fits.
when it fits, we'll do it when there's time and when there's space.
I think it's here, and it is the way it is because it fills a certain need that the community has. And I think that even when it becomes not fun for Lori and I, or we're too busy to keep doing it, I think that if that need still persists within the community, that someone else will either take over this or they'll start their own,
Right.
and it'll be there. I mean, that's
Right.
the way it goes. We need a lot, the community needs a lot more different types of things than just, you know, like a DTW or like a here. I think it's so fun to fail at AUNTS. I mean, also is like heart-wrenching as well anytime you fail, but it's so interesting that like you can have a space for that. You can go in with some idea and just try it and realize that it's not working because maybe the audience is different than you expected, or maybe like the other performers are more in tune with them, or you know, sometimes even some performers, they just won't stop performing, so they'll just perform for the whole night, and it kind of like takes over the stage, and people try to get them off and they can't.
It really makes you question, like, what, as a performer, what you need as you're engaging in like an AUNTS event. It's like, do you need people to watch you? Do you need just a space to do your thing? And I think it's interesting to see different people come through, different artists, and how they interact with that situation of what do you need, and then how do you get what you need in that situation.
There's nothing else really that you get other than the chance to, you know, do it right there. And
Well, I was just going to throw in about life living, about creating these events, and about community, and how you can go to AUNTS, you can try out a performance idea, but you can also be with the community at the same time, and you're actually creating and experimenting within the community and kind of like as an active practice, I guess.